friends remember me. Maybe you don't. It's been a while, or maybe we've never met before. I'm Mackenzie Sage Wright. I'm Wiccan, though I also identify as pagan or neo-pagan or as a witch, so any of those would be correct. I'm also a writer, an artist, a teacher, and in the past I tried to be a YouTube content creator. It didn't go very well, but I'm going to try that again. I hope you don't mind if I share my crafting with you while I do this video. I needed a creative outlet to work with my hands, so I decided to work on a new decorative book of shadows, and I don't like filming myself, partly due to privacy and partly because I am camera shy. I can't relax. I feel awkward when a camera's pointed in my face. I used to do slideshows and whatnot when I did my videos, but I think that got a little dry and boring, and with pictures you're always at risk for copyright claims, and I don't know, I tried different things, but maybe this will be a little bit more visually interesting for you while you listen to me prattle on. So, I haven't been around for a long while, like I said. Life got hectic, there were a lot of changes. I won't go into detail, but family commitments, work, health issues, and they all had to come before things like videos or websites or online groups and things like that. And I also needed some time to just settle into my new life. I moved across the country and things were very different for me. So I had to settle, I had to do a little path working, I had to take a little breather and figure out a new direction for my life after all these changes, which is always a little daunting and a little exciting at the same time. It's like having a blank canvas. Because of other priorities, I've been inactive on social media, shut down my website for a while. I haven't updated any of my online articles or written new ones. I never did finish the new book, but also when YouTube started making all the changes, I didn't have time to go over them, so I decided to turn off all my videos so I wouldn't lose my channel or get sued or something if I violated one of their new policies. They're still there though, so if you liked any of the older videos, I'm going to put them up again. I still have them. I'm going to reorganize them, improve them a bit. I may even just redo them, but I will really release them again in time. They're not gone forever. I guess it seemed like I just disappeared, so I want to say I'm sorry to those of you who were worried. I got a lot of messages, a lot of questions, a lot did not get answered. If you felt I turned my back on you because you were following my work and trying to learn from me, I apologize. I never meant to hurt or to disappoint anyone. But I also want to say that I'm pretty happy with where I am now. I do miss my old communities online, and groups and creative activities online, like writing articles and making videos and teaching classes, sharing things that had to do with my spirituality, my passion. And I've been longing to get back into it for a while now, but I wanted to make sure I was really ready. I think the dust has really settled for good now, so I want to make a fresh start. And I hope to reconnect with my old friends and acquaintances, and I hope you'll have me back. And if you're new here or new to my work online, I'd like to say greetings and welcome, and I'm so glad you're here, and I look forward to getting to know you. So today, first and foremost, I want to talk about the Wiccan Way Grove and what's going on with that. For those who don't know what that is, I'm not talking about a little forest or woodland spot. The Grove is what some neo-pagans or Wiccans would call a group of practitioners learning under guidance of those with more experience. It's not a coven, though for some covens they do present a grove for people, and those who get through the grove, they may invite them into the coven to become a member, but it's basically a learning circle. And when I got started in Wicca for the first time, for about 5 years or so, I floundered. And this was back in the early 90s. Info was really hard to come by, and I didn't have the internet yet, and I was winging it from very few books. But a lot of the deeper things, the intricacies of the religion, they just went over my head. I was lucky enough to join a grove, and that's when I feel my path really began to take off. And I feel like I finally really began to grow spiritually. So a few years after graduating my grove, I began teaching my own grove, and a few years ago I tried teaching grove online, and things went well, but then I started to struggle, and like I mentioned, a lot of personal major changes for my life and family. Also, I was struggling with getting grove members to keep up with things. Just wasn't translating as well as I had hoped to online learning the way I was doing it. So I don't want to get into things too deep about the past or failures or whatever, but let's just say there was a lot of trial and error and I had a lot to learn from that. So if you're familiar with my old online grove, it's going to start up again for 2020, but there are going to be some big changes. So put aside everything you knew before. And if you're new and interested in Grove, listen up, because this is how it's going to work now, and this is what you need to know. First off, I'm not doing it alone anymore. I've got some dedicated friends from previous Groves, and we're all leading together going forward, which is great because it's not all reliant on one single person showing up anymore. Second, we're splitting Grove up into two parts, the Outer Grove and the Inner Grove. The Outer Grove is for anyone, and I'm going to put all the lessons on this channel, lessons about Wicca, witchcraft, paganism, and anyone can watch these and learn about them. Whether you're just curious, or you're a newbie, or you've been a solitary, or maybe you even were trained with a coven and you just want to broaden your perspective. That's, because covens are they can be an echo chamber. And maybe you don't want to get involved with others and you just want to do self-study. That's okay too. Just watching these videos are going to lay out a lot of the basics, and I strive to help lay it out in a clear, concise order, and I try to correct a lot of common misinformation or help you think more about different perspectives to help you form your own. So the videos are very useful. They're completely free here on YouTube to anyone, of course. And by free, I mean free to view. Please respect my copyright. I have a lot of people republishing my stuff or my articles or taking transcripts from my videos and then publishing them as though it were their own writing, or people, instead of linking to my articles, they just completely republish it on their webpage. So I will ask you to please respect my copyrights and not do that, because it does affect my work, but they're free to view and you can learn a lot from them. And those inclined to take Grove a little more seriously than just watching videos can ask to join our Facebook group. I'll add the link below. And I should add that we only accept people who are 18 and over. So I'm sorry, teenagers, if you're younger, you need to wait, because we respect parental rights and we don't want to get involved with anyone complaining that we are trying to indoctrinate their children, because we think it would be wrong for any religion to do that. Other than that, anyone can join really, but you do need to follow the rules, because we see our social media forums as a learning environment. Think of it as a virtual school. So we tolerate diversity and discussion and different opinions and the like, but we don't tolerate drama or bullying or harassment or being disruptive. So fair warning. If you cause problems, you'll be asked to leave, or you'll be just kicked out. Our motto is basically, don't be a dick. That pretty much sums up the behavioral guidelines. We're not afraid of different opinions, but you have to think about how you're presenting them. You don't necessarily have to be Wiccan. People new to witchcraft or paganism can learn a lot through the Wiccan Way Grove, considering Wicca played such a big part in the pagan and witchcraft revival and has been pretty influential. Just be aware it's taught from a Wiccan perspective through the Grove, so you should know that, but all different paths and beliefs are really welcome. Anybody who genuinely wants to learn. Although, if you feel you need a safe space, if you're easily triggered by people with different perspectives or outlooks on life, practices, or beliefs that may be different from your own, then our groups are probably not for you, because if you really want to learn and grow, you have to be willing to come out of your safe space and confront other opinions and ideas and practices that you might disagree with them. They might anger you, they might scare you or make you uncomfortable. So anyone joining us in any group setting, online or even in real life, do so at your own discretion. You know you. So you are responsible for deciding what you can handle, and if you feel you might get anxious or depressed or upset if our group discusses something that bothers you, then it's up to you to stay away or make a graceful exit. And finally, keep in mind this is an online group, so practice internet safety when it comes to protecting your privacy and not putting yourself in a vulnerable position with strangers. We're not some kind of real school organization, we're an informal group, so obviously we don't do background checks or have any kind of formal vetting for the people we let in. We're just meeting them online like you are, and we're kind of judging them by their outward behavior. We don't know who's behind that screen name. So just because someone's in Grove or claims to be Wiccan or pagan or a god or whatever, it doesn't mean they're automatically good or trustworthy. And I've met quite a few online Grove members in person, and I've met a lot of people online in person, and a few I've gotten to know very well, and some of them are very amazing people, and I truly love them and trust them. You know, the internet is not full of terrible people, but of course it's a place where terrible people can hide, so you always have to be careful. You're an adult and you're responsible for your own safety. Through the Facebook group, you'll find additional references and discussions about the topics in the videos so you can gain even more understanding. You'll find assignments if you want to commit yourself even more to learning this path. Assignments usually involve things like extra reading, writing, meditations, or various exercises, and you can submit exercises or writing assignments for comments by Grove leaders or just to keep track of what you're doing, of your journey. You can ask questions about any of the topics. You can share your experiences for the exercises that you try with the group if you like. We may sometimes have group chats or online activities you can join, so it should be a very lively group. And Grove used to be a year-and-a-day class with 4 seasonal sessions, but by doing it this way now, it basically allows people to go at their own pace a lot better. You may have some experience and training already, so you may be able to get through outer Grove materials in a few weeks. Or you may need time to absorb things. You may need to redo lessons and assignments. You might have to take off time for a semester in college or for family crisis, or you just had a baby, whatever. It could take you a couple of years to get through it. And by doing it this way, we feel like nobody has to feel rushed, but also no one has to feel held back. So we think it's going to work better. And if you get through the basics in the outer Grove, you may be invited to join the inner Grove. The inner Grove is just going to be a continuation for the more advanced teachings and practices. And the Grove leaders are going to work more closely with the inner Grove members to guide them through the more advanced materials. We'll have weekly meetings, we'll go deeper exploring spiritual topics, and for you to explore your own spirituality. It's not meant to be exclusionary, but this group will be more private because there needs to be more trust and cohesion between members. When you're taking this journey together and when you're diving deeper into spiritual exploration and growth, you can get intertwined with your personal issues, your past, your life, and you may want to share those things to talk about how you're working through them spiritually. So when you dive deeper into spiritual exploration and growth, it tends to get personal. So when you're doing this kind of advanced work, you really want to have a safe space where people can trust you, a more safe space. And that's why there's a division. And it makes sure that people who do get to that point where they're ready for the advanced stuff and the personal stuff, they're on the same level by the time they get to the inner Grove, and they're prepared to make use of those lessons and apply them. And not everyone will make it into the inner Grove because not everyone will want to. And we're really going to just check, and if we feel like it's a good fit for you and you're a good fit for us, you can go on. And who knows, if you graduate Grove, maybe you can even join us and become a Grove leader too, and you can give back to others too, because that's really rewarding. So if you want to check out the Facebook group, like I said, you can get more info there, or you can wait for the first Wiccan Way Grove videos. I'm going to start putting them out shortly so you can dive into some of our lessons and decide if it's right for you. The videos for Grove are going to be labeled Wiccan Way Grove and numbered, but if you're doing that study, other videos I post on witchcraft, spiritual, supernatural stuff, they might interest you as well, but I'm not going to label them Grove if they're not Grove lessons specifically. So, like I said, the Grove is taught through a Wiccan lens. I think the lessons, particularly the preliminary lessons, can be very helpful to anyone interested in neo-paganism or witchcraft in general. So you might find yourself watching my Grove videos and my regular magical arts and witchcraft videos, and that's perfectly fine. But if you're just interested in Grove, they'll specifically be labeled Grove. Also, I guess in this day and age, you have to be self-promoting, so I'm going to plug my book real quick, 13 Rooms to Becoming Wiccan. It's basically a series of lessons for year-long study in Wicca. It's basically beyond the Wicca 101 books, It's kind of a form of growth in a complete independent study book. So I'll link to that below, and I guess you can get it in paperback or digital form from Amazon. I'm a creator and a teacher, but I'm not good at the business end of things, so I'm not going to give a big sales pitch. I'll leave it at that, and it's there for those who want it. And another pitch is for this channel, please subscribe, like, share. If you leave a comment, it'll really help me because YouTube really gets off on that kind of interaction, so more people will see my videos. I don't care if you want to comment and say, hey, I love this, or if you want to comment and say, I hate you, that's fine. You're entitled to your own opinion, but whatever it is, if you actually type it into the comment section, it'll be very helpful to me. If you made it through this video, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed watching my little crafting. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say. I hope if you're looking forward to joining Grove, that I'll get to know you soon. I look forward to meeting you and saying hi to those I know before, and really excited about getting started again. Thanks again, and everyone, have a magical day.